Good? All right. So for the record, what you heard over there, she was asking me to unzip her so we could get the microphone out. I was like, Derek, you do that. That's what y'all heard, but it's always an honor and a pleasure to be home. My earliest memory of life was living in a battered women's shelter, which was in San Jose, California, but I'm born and raised in Fort Worth, Texas. I started school on Funky Town bound 76119. Yeah, hit somebody up, at least when you say South Central, you just start. I can't do that no more. So listen, I'm going to hit the ground running. We've got a lot of information that I want to cover, that I want to share with you. I'm always honored and pleased to be on anybody's platform, on anybody's stage. But to be a part of this stage is monumental for me because I've known Tommy for a very long time. Tommy actually originally stretched my mindset under the umbrella of entrepreneurialism a very long time ago. I don't know if you remember that, but wow, hold on. I don't think I ever found a quarter on stage. Say increase. There it is, right there, baby. So, I'm honored to be here, Nikki, Tommy. Thank you for this incredible opportunity. This is my second time sharing the stage with Lisa Nichols. I had an opportunity to share the stage with you. I believe it was in Ohio. I can't remember if it was Columbus or Cleveland. At the Fraser Net with Les Brown and many other giants. So I'm honored to be here. I'm going to hit the ground running. I'm going to share some information with you. Not to get something from you, I want to get something to you. Is that fair? Yes. How many of you understand that every day of our life there is a possibility for increase? Yes. If you believe that, say increase. Increase. It's such a simple word to say, but when you understand the way God wired us, the way He created us, the desire, the hunger, the passion to constantly grow in life, the only reason we stop entertaining the possibilities of growth is because somehow, some way, something in life created a detachment from our original creation, which was to increase. Say increase. Increase. See, I believe that the way that you decrease something is the way that you will get it back. And I believe that if you're sitting next to someone that causes you to feel embarrassed to declare what you want, to actually say what you want, chances are what you want you'll never get. Because you're adjusting who you are to who you're around. So if you really desire and have a passion for increase, say increase. Increase! That's my son, Honor. I named him Honor because God finally honored me with a boy. And my two daughters are in the audience right now. Songs and Hannah are in the building. My office is here, Wimbrey Training Systems. My beautiful wife. What's up, baby? Say what's up to the people. Don't be shy. Don't be shy because you know. So I say all that to say this. Johnny Wimbrey from Fort Worth, Texas, born and raised. I lived in San Jose as a kid. I lived in Hollywood for a couple years working on some television projects as a celebrity life coach and just doing things out there. But I'm back home. I've been back home for about 10 years now and still doing a lot of global things. So if I were to share something with you right now, and I'm picturing it while I'm sitting over there and I'm seeing loaves of bread, I'm seeing quarters go throughout the stage, I'm seeing glitter on the stage, beautiful dresses and all this good stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, if I were able just to kind of tee this thing up, you know what a tee is if you play golf, you just tee the ball up, right? If I were to tee where the rest of this event is about to go, I'm not your main speaker. So it's my job to tee the speaker up, to complement where they're going, to complement the mindset. And I know if I can get you into a mindset to receive Lisa the way that she deserves to be received, you'll have a breakthrough. So it's my job to set that breakthrough up so it happens and it manifests and becomes a reality in your life. Are you ready? Yes. All right. With all that being said, my earliest memory of life was living in a battered women's shelter. My father was an abusive alcoholic. We lived 20 minutes from where I'm standing right now. I don't remember any of that. All I remember is being in San Jose, California, going into a shelter. And the way I found out that I was living in a shelter is I went to a refrigerator door. I opened the refrigerator door. I put my hand in to grab some milk, and someone said no. And I didn't understand why I couldn't have milk if this is home. Well, the milk belonged to another family that was living in the shelter, and that's how I figured out what was going on in my life. How many of you understand that the first impression is the lasting impression? We've heard this several times, right? So the first impression is the lasting impression. When you walk into the room, the human mind, without permission, begins to label and create opinions on individuals. Studies show that over 100 opinions, 100 thoughts will come into your mind just based on a first impression. When I walked on the stage, there was a first impression that you'd never seen me before. So if the first impression truly has that much power, what about the first impression of life? It's the first thing you remember about you. Could it be the level of success that you allowed yourself to achieve up to this date is based on your first memory of what you believe you deserve? Say, ooh. Could it be the reality of the life that we are living today, that we're living it based on our first impression of what we thought we deserved? See, and I believe that's a trick from the enemy. I believe that's a lie from the pits of hell. Where you come from doesn't have to dictate where you're going. If you feel me, give me a hallelujah. Hallelujah. Everybody want to go somewhere, right? So I want to talk about increase. I want to talk about increase. What is this thing in life that God wired us with to hunger and crave increase? When Lisa is up here, when Tommy is up here speaking, here's what I want you to do. I want you to be that sniper. See, a sniper is someone who's always in position, even when it's calm, even when there's peace. A sniper will stay in position for hours, if not days, sometimes even weeks, with no action. Because the sniper's 100% job is to keep people safe. It's to take out the enemy. So what if you created a mindset that while you're here at this event, you're literally a sniper looking for your moment? How many of you know that major things can happen in very minor moments? Yes. I was at an event one time, and it was a 3-day event. I spent over $10,000 to be at that event. Now, if you think that's crazy, I spent $10,000 to invest into me. Most people will spend money to invest on the outside of them. I spend money to invest on who I am from the inside out. You want to impress people with what you look like? I want to impress people with who I am. Because what's inside me, you can't take it. You can take my watch, you can take my home, you can take my cars, you can take everything you want to take from me. But what's inside me will cause me to be able to get it again and again and again because who I am from the inside out. Does that make sense? So I'm saying all that to say this. I was at a seminar, 3 days, about $10,000 to be at that event, and I don't remember who said it. I can't even tell you who said it. All I remember is this. A man stood on stage and he said, William Ward said that adversity causes some people to break, and it causes others to become record breakers. That was my moment. If I could have paid for that moment and just walked in at that right time, I promise you it would have awakened a sleeping giant that's inside me, because he said adversity, hard times, struggles, adversity causes some people to break, give up, throw in the towel, and say, I quit. But it causes others to become record breakers. How can adversity cause some people to break, and it causes others to become record breakers? That was my moment. Thank God I was in sniper position when that was said. I pray that you stay in sniper position when Lisa is up here. I pray that you stay in a sniper position when Tommy comes up here, because I promise you, if you're present mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and you are in position like a sniper and you're looking for your moment, just like I was when I was broke that day, I stand before you with over $40 million that I've made since that day, because I was in position. I was paying attention. Something happened inside me. And I believe that regardless of where we come from, it doesn't have to dictate where we're going. Adversity has followed me all of my life. And I have broken records all of my life. Now, I want you to understand, I've made way more mistakes than I've had successes. As a matter of fact, let me apologize to this campus. Because I don't know if I'm legally supposed to be here right now. Y'all think I'm lying. My wife went to this school. And I met my wife right after my homeboy's funeral. who was murdered about 20 minutes from here. The night before the funeral was the wake, and we were invited to be at that wake. My homeboy Mookie was murdered, 1993. And I went to the wake, and we were going to retaliate. I had a gun. And the mother stood before his casket, and she said, I forgive the young man who killed my son. This was another moment that I was paying attention. And something happened inside me. I had the most mature moment of my life at about 18 years old. I was a year behind in school, so I'm a junior in high school. I'm 18. Don't laugh at me. And I said to myself, I don't love him like that. If the mother had already found forgiveness, who the hell am I? Who am I to go out and seek revenge when the mother said, I forgive them? And I don't know what happened. All my homies sitting next to me, but for some reason, I got up and I gave my gun to a preacher and I walked away from that lifestyle that day. Now, the next day at the funeral, after the funeral, I would meet my wife. And that night I prayed, I said, God, send somebody in my life, for real, for real. Like for real, I wanted a mentor. I wanted someone who would help me stay out of trouble. I didn't say male or female. The next day, less than 12 hours later, I would meet my wife. We've been married for over 20 years today. Over 20 years. Now, to pick up where I left off. She went to UTA. I was a little rough around the edges. Don't let the lights get for you. I wrote the book From the Hood to Doing Good. I made a lot of bad decisions in life. By the time I was 14 years old, I was selling crack cocaine on the streets. I made a lot of bad decisions. I let communities down. I let people who believed in me down. I was kind of that personality of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That was me in school. I was a kid that could make me laugh and then go home and do dirt. And I wasn't proud of myself, so I didn't brag about it. So I made a lot of bad decisions. I got a brother serving 40 years in prison right now. The only difference is I didn't get caught. So I'm not talking to you right now as if, thank you, Jesus, I am a knight in shining armor. That's not the, I don't want you to get that glimpse of me. I want you to understand, I've been through hell, but I just refuse to stop. I want you to understand I made a lot of bad decisions in life. Now, I'm not better than my brother who's serving time in the penitentiary. I'm just God's grace and mercy. So, one night, at this school, my wife was at a party. And my homeboy said, hey, let's go over to Arlington to go to a party. I think the Cappers or the Qs were throwing. I said, no, my girlfriend's there. I don't want to go there because, I don't want to get in no trouble. So, man, it's going to be cool. Just come on, man. No joke. I was there for maybe 10 seconds. I lit some dude up. She was dancing with somebody. In my mind, she was twerking. in my mind, she was going home with him. And they weren't even touching. They were like just dancing. I reached out and touched him like AT&T. And it caused a bigger fight because my homies were there, and I have been banned from the UTA campus since. So, with all that being said, if I don't make it for the next 7 minutes, you're gonna come out here and escort me off the stage. I do appreciate you, and record at least as much so I can see it. So, with all that being said, there are many things in life that have happened to me, and there are many things in life that happened to me because I participated. See, here's what most people run from. They run from the identity of the fact that there are many mistakes that we made in life. There are many things that we are living in our life right now. But if you calculate the dots, Hansel and Gretel, if you go back and pick up the breadcrumbs, Derek Butts, and you trace it back to the origination, you'll see where you have to take responsibility. See, responsibility is a big word. Y'all ain't gonna believe this. You ready? Yeah. The real definition of responsibility? Yeah. Oh yeah, this is deep. This is going to be some deep stuff. Responsibility simply means the ability to respond. That's all it means. It's never meant anything else. Responsibility has never had another definition. It is your ability to respond. So listen, the Bible says that if somebody slaps you on the right cheek, you should turn and let them slap you on the left cheek. I'm not there yet. If you slap me on the right cheek, I'm going to listen. It's going to be a situation. I'm just not there yet. But I have to identify with the fact that my maturity level caused me to respond to something instead of being able to walk away. And I've got to deal with that. I've got to be responsible. See, you have to be responsible for your reality right now. Who have you entertained? Yes. What have you entertained? Yes. Well, Johnny, if I was a multi-million-dollar entrepreneur like you, I would be able to understand. No, listen. I am who I am where I am because I take responsibility for everything I've done. Whether it be good or bad. If I were to share something with you right now, my true secret in life that has really obtained and got me to the level to where I am. I've spoken pretty much all over the world. Mind the Gap, heard that 1,000,000 times. Because I've spoken Heathrow, I've been in London probably twice already this year. Going to other places. Lyon, France, just a few months ago. Speaking in Nazareth, in Israel, in Jerusalem. Speaking in places where I think to myself sometimes when I'm on stage, it's like what you said yesterday, Lisa, when you were in front of Your Majesty in Dubai. You thought to yourself, I'm from South Central, why am I at this table? And it's those inner conversations that we have to shut up very quickly. So I wrote the book From the Hood to Doing Good. There's been many times where I've been on stage and I do a play on words. Does anything good come from the hood? And it's a play on word because does anything good come from Nazareth? And I was speaking in Nazareth and that came out of my mouth one time while I was speaking in Nazareth, and I broke down because I understood the very thing, the very nature of connection, of stories that I made in my life that connect with me. I found myself on stage in the exact same location. I don't care where you come from. I only care where you're going. There's not one person in this room who's not equipped to attach to another level of increase. If you feel me, give me a Honolulu. So I'm going to share something with you real quick since we started out with some theme of money. Let me stay with the money. And let me give Derek a little tip. Derek, I'll use pennies because nobody gave you the quarters back. And you could have made the exact same point with pennies, but it wouldn't have shined. Or you could have done nickels on behalf of. So if you don't want the quarters back, I want the quarters back. Somebody say increase. How much is this worth? It's a $100 bill. How much is it worth? It's not a trick question. How much is it worth? It's worth $100. It's not a deep question. It's not even a trick question. So if I pull out a $100 bill, the value of this is $100. If I fold this $100 bill, now how much is it worth? How's that possible? How's it possible that I folded something that had value? I folded it in half, but you're telling me it maintained its value. How's that possible? So it's still worth $100. This is something I did. You were probably in my class when I was teaching at the church that we went to. I was teaching the youth, and I wanted to talk about value. And that was probably back in 2000 and maybe 2001-ish time period. And I did this with a group of kids because I wanted them to understand their value. So you're telling me if I fold it, it doesn't change. What if I fold it again? So you're telling me it's a quarter of the size that it was when it began, but for some reason you're telling me that it maintained and held its value. How's that possible? It doesn't make sense to me. So what if I drop it? How much is it worth? What if I step on it? So, okay, let me get creative. What if I ball it up? So if I drop this thing in the bottom of the ocean, and somebody finds it 20 years from now, and they open it up and dry it off, how much is it worth? See, here's what I don't understand. You have more faith in a man-made object than you do you as a God-made object. Some of you have been stepped on. Some of you have been folded. Some of you have been crumbled up. Some of you made feel like trash. You've allowed other people's opinion to become your reality, and you've allowed value to decrease in your mind. It really hasn't. Only mentally it has decreased. But individually, as an individual, you're still intact, just like a $100 bill. As long as it's intact, it still holds its value. I'm telling you, I don't care what you've been through. I don't care who told you no. I don't care who said it wouldn't work. I don't care who stepped on your dreams. I don't care who made you feel less value. As long as you're physically still intact, you are still under the creation of God's original intent in your life. And if a $100 bill still holds its value, then so do you. If you feel me, give me an Never put more faith into a man-made object than you do as a God-made object. You are a God-made object, and your value is there. There may be someone who has lied to you to make you feel like the value has decreased. But I'm telling you guys, the enemy is the master of deception. That is his job. It is his job to deceive you. And if he can make you feel less valuable than you are, and you subscribe to that mindset, then you will walk in the mindset of a less valued individual. If you can declare the value of the $100 bill, if you can somehow transfer that thinking from a man-made object to a God-made object, 100% of you will succeed at something. Because it's the value that's within. It's what you put inside you. I have a book table upstairs, and all of my books are out there. My wife's book is up there. She wrote a children's book called Alpha Scripts. Any books that we have up there, we'll do 2 for $30, which is a deal. Trust me, when you go up there, you'll see the price is 2 for $30. How many of you in this room have a story to tell? Really? You really believe you have a story to tell? So with that being said, how many of you will participate in your declaration? The number one reason that people aren't successful in life is because they don't participate in their own rescue. So if you have a story to tell, when are you going to tell it? If there's something inside you that God put in you, your thumbprint, your DNA that you can leave to this planet that I'm not qualified to leave, nobody else is qualified to leave it but you. You have a special DNA that has your name on it. This is where I'm at in my life right now. I'm helping edify people and elevate people's visibility as published authors and becoming professional speakers. The exact same thing that my mentor taught me, Les Brown, I'm training and teaching other individuals. If you truly have a story to tell, right now, I'm looking for 16 co-authors of a book that I'm working on right now that is destined to be a bestseller. It is forwarded by Les Brown. It features me and a few other individuals. If you're serious about becoming a published author, meet me at the table after Lisa is finished speaking, at the table upstairs, or write this down. Go to costarauthor.com. costarauthor.com. Everybody who submits a form on that website will get called this week, and we will do an interview with you. It doesn't mean that you're guaranteed to be in the book, but at least I know your story. Right now, I'm on the hunt. Well, Johnny, why would I do it if you're only looking for 16? You may not pick me. Participate in your own rescue. Get away from being the folded, valued individual, the person who entertains obstacles. I promise you, if you entertain opportunities more than you entertain obstacles, opportunities have no choice but to submit themselves to you. And I'm telling you, costarauthor.com. It has been an honor and a pleasure. UTA, thank you so much for letting me back on the stage. I love you guys. God bless you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.